on first down. Allen intercepted. Greg Frères, he's taking it to the house. Touchdown, Calgary. Second interception for a touchdown for Greg Frères. 45 yards this time.
Having a good year, a very good year. 2 touchdowns now, first 2 of his career. Good range and a good read from Greg Frères, but I don't believe Rocky Henry went and fought for the football. Very similar to the touchdown he scored against the Edmonton Eskimos in Week 1 at the opposite end of the field.
And that had touchdown written all over it.
Well, he took it on the dead fly, read it all the way, and when he took that football, he was on the dead fly heading downhill.
Stampeders are taking it to the Lions now. It's 25-2. Not much has worked for Damon Allen tonight.
Well, they're over there talking about it. Damon Allen, say Frères is right here. Now watch how he reads it. Damon Allen is going to drop back. He's going to read his eyes. Frères to the right of your screen and then just break on the football. But Rocky Henry didn't come back underneath until way too late. And Frères coming downhill. Finds Peter. Yeah. Hey, you can make the paper. See the flash bulbs going off down there? I guess they're not flash bulbs anymore.
No, really not.
That was
Technology has improved a little bit.
but
You see, we passed through the 90s.
yes, so we're in the
Yeah.
Well, great. You know, it doesn't break my heart to see a safety leading the interception race either.
Well, yeah,
That's
okay.
pretty nice.
And if the safety happened to play it, Simon Fraser.
All right. Way to go, Greg.
Lions try and regroup. Joe Paopao trying to figure a way to penetrate this Stampeder defense in Calgary tonight.
Now that.
McMahon Stadium in Calgary almost full. Tomorrow we'll have an Adidas Friday night football doubleheader beginning in Hamilton with the Rough Riders in town against the Ticats, and we'll move up to Commonwealth in Edmonton to watch the Blue Bombers and the Eskimos, 2 teams rather desperate for a win. Beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern.
Well, a chance to see the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, how they respond after pushing Calgary right to overtime last week. Really should have won the game, had a chance on a field goal to win it.
Here's Mike Adams looking for field position for the BC Lions. He's wrapped up again. Again, Stampeders special teams are doing a wonderful job tonight.
Well, and you wonder who's going to get the couch. Now,
the lazy boy.
The lazy boy. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Here's what the Stampeders do on special teams. They have a lazy boy in their special teams meeting, and the player of the game on special teams gets to go to the meetings and sit in the lazy boy. And the player of the year on special teams gets to take the lazy boy home.
And Andre Arlane was the player of the year last year, so he's got a lazy boy in his rec room, or maybe in the living room.
And last week, Andre Arlane was the player of the week, so he sat in the lazy boy all week to watch the meetings, and that's pretty nice. But they're going to have a tough choice to make because everyone on special teams for Calgary has played well tonight.
Another problem for the Lions offensively, and it is not the first time that they have had difficulty at the line.
They're flat. They're just not in sync. They're not. It's just a flat-out execution problem on the part of the BC Lions. They're just, whether it be procedure calls, receivers breaking off patterns, or a guy by the name of Greg Frères. It's just not working well.
Yeah. Well, a couple other guys by the name of Fleming and Peoples have had a lot to do with it too. Adams makes the catch. Valiantly tries to make first down yardage, but he's well short. It was 1st and 15.
Well, that's what you like to see. You like to see Mike Adams, even though they're way down, to keep fighting for that extra couple of yards. And he's fighting for a spot on the roster throughout the season. He's had a good start, and he's earned the right to be here. But Alfred Jackson, the veteran, is back in Vancouver and very close to returning to the lineup. So some tough decisions for the BC Lions, although when they watch this offensive game plan, they may want to make some switches.
Allen Allen has to make a couple of big plays, and soon he what hopped that for Don Blair.
Joe Fleming has been unbelievable in this game. And again, you don't see it in the sack totals, but we see it. Joe Fleming, you can't block him. And we talked about his motor running all the time. Well, watch this play. Watch 76. Look at this. Motor's going. Full go. Full go. Let's go. Beats the block. Look at that.
Got a little help from Shonda Peoples there, too.
Peoples crawling along the ground. Look at this. Joe Fleming just saying, hello, better throw it. Get rid of it, because I'm coming. They work together on the strong side of the field. Shonda Peoples and Joe Fleming.
The Lions are going to hand the Stampeders good field position again. The Saglia's punt coming down near the 50. Travis Moore out across midfield. So again, Stampeders start on BC's side of the field. Dickinson limping a little bit, but he's come in and been fairly effective.
And you wonder when Dave Dickinson will take a seat on the bench, because he has been limping throughout the game since he hurt his hamstring. Troy Kopp will see some playing time before it's over, no question. But how long does Wally Buono go with his starting quarterback and risk him injuring that leg further or coming up with another injury?
12 of 22, 183 yards. He really hasn't moved the football team a great deal in the second half. The defense has chipped in with one touchdown. But he's held onto the football and put a couple of play drives together. Kelvin Anderson around the corner and more than halfway to a first down. He's very close to 9 yards.
Pretty nice block at the point of attack by Aubrey Cummings.
It's all Calgary so far at McMahon Stadium as we kick off week 3. Calgary on top by a bunch.
The CFL live on TSN at the quarter.
James Duffy back with the guys who, according to Glenn Suter, have the cushiest job in TV. You should see Suter's job. He has like 8 personal assistants. Calgary's defense absolutely dominating this one. We had tons of evidence to choose from. Let us show you one of the many plays where they were all over the Lions and Damon Allen. Chris, they absolutely took over this football game.
Hey, Mike Roach, Jim Daly have done a great job in running combination player blitzes. Here you see Greg Frears and Shonta Peoples working well together. In reality, Frears becomes the contain, People becomes the rush. And it's more important that Peoples makes the hit because he's a bigger, stronger person, and he's going to provide more punishment. One of the reasons that Calgary's playing so good is they're picking some great defensive plays to offset what BC's done offensively, Matty.
Well, I think they're playing a slow death and putting a slow death on the BC Lions. Right now, they're playing field position smart football, taking advantage of the field position they've been getting. Tony Martino's been punting them in bad situations. We saw it in the second quarter. We see it in the third quarter. They're taking advantage of field position. And if two teams closely matched like this, it can be the difference, Eric.
Well, Matt, basically what we're seeing is a team that's playing well right now in all 3 areas. Offense, their defense is athletic and aggressive, and on special teams, you look at the corner kicks by Martino. Right now, Wally Buono has to love what he sees because they look like the team to beat in the West, James.
63 points in 2 games the Lions scored over their first 2 games. 2 measly, itsy-bitsy singles to show in this one. One other game in the CFL tonight, and it was ugly. 41-4, Als. 86-10. The Als win the 2-game series. Ugly. Browning and Pringle, huge games.
And here's the proof the Stampeders are dominating the Lions through 3 quarters.
Yeah, you're not going to win many games when you put 5 first downs on the board, 3 quarters.
No first downs for the Lions in the 3rd quarter. That tells a big part of the story, too.
Unbelievable. That pretty much tells the story.
Yeah, I'm fairly surprised, to be truthful. I thought BC, the way they played the last couple of weeks, would come in here and move the football a little bit, but I think you really have to give an awful lot of credit to that Stampeder defense. And we've mentioned most of the names, but number 76, number 56, and the safety, Greg Frears, with a 45-yard return for a touchdown. Kelvin Anderson doesn't get it that time. That's Dwayne Ford. This is Canada's Grey Cup City for 2000. And it's going to be a party because they usually throw a pretty good party here.
Well, apparently the ticket sales are going great already. It's 3 weeks into the season. They're over 60% sold.
And there's your seat. That's where you'll be sitting. Just see where it says Q there?
Yeah. That's the new press box they built for the Grey Cup. And it will be a party here in Calgary. And boy, the way the Calgary Stampeders are playing early in this season, they're going to be the team to beat, it looks like.
Well, it's very early.
Absolutely.
And the Lions and the Stampeders will meet 2 more times, including at least one of those occasions at BC Place, where it won't be quite as easy.
Well, it was Calgary that came up with the last-second win last year inside a minute when Greg Mon saw the ball hit the turf out of Damon Allen's hands, and that was it for their run to the playoffs, or to the Grey Cup. Calgary was there.
3rd and inches for the Stampeders. Dickinson will have the first down. No flags anywhere.
But with the way these two teams dislike each other and the way that the two coaches, although they have respect for each other, dislike each other, you know that Greg Moss would love to come into Calgary and take a cup right here.
Oh, yeah. Right now, he'd settle for a couple of touchdowns right here.
No question. And it is early. There's a lot of football to be played, but boy, the Calgary Stampeders really look impressive.
Yeah. Little doubt these are the 2 best teams in the CFL West. I mean, there's no question about that. The Stampeders have really been dominant on defense tonight. On first down, Aubrey Cummings was the target. Dickinson felt a little heat.
That's another hit that Dave Dickinson has to take. That one from Eric England. And again, you wonder when Troy Kopp will be back in the game. Dickinson is banged up, has the hamstring problem, but is still in there. But every point is important. You mentioned that they'll play each other 2 more times. They are the 2 best teams in the West so far this season, and look like they will be. All those points could matter down the road when it comes down to who gets that home field game in the playoffs.
And that was the game that the BC Lions had last year in Calgary. Snuck into BC Place, as you mentioned, and stole one in the Western Final. Dickinson can't find anyone home.
He's going to run for a first.
Amazing. Bad ham and all. And that gets the crowd roaring just a little bit when your gimpy quarterback runs for about 12.
Well, first of all, the play was it was a screen pass to Kelvin Anderson.
Look at him out there. He can hardly stand up.
He can barely walk. But David Benefield sniffed out the screen pass, and he was right beside Kelvin Anderson, so Dave Dickinson couldn't throw that one. Pitts was well covered downfield. He has been for most of the night by Derek Lewis, so now Dickinson had no other choice but to run, and there was no one there to tackle him.
Looks like he's running better than he's walking out there. When he slows down, he's a little more lopsided. Kelvin Anderson tries the outside. Great burst of speed. A terrific hit there as he nailed Lewis.
Watch the block by Fred Childress. The big Chill gets outside and puts a pretty good block on one of the premier pass rushers in the league in Herman Smith. Watch the big Chill come outside. Here comes number 68 to the right of your screen. Watch it, bang, right there. Herman Smith stands straight up right there. And it was, whoa, can't get back to recover to get Calvin Anderson. That's a lot of weight pushing on you.
11 yards there for Anderson.
333 bills.
Woo! Another first down for the Stampeders. Pitch to Anderson. Inside, over one. Down inside the 15.
Travis Moore. Talk about physical. Travis Moore just put a huge hit. I believe it was on Derek Lewis. Whoa, baby. It was a crack block from the outside. To the right of your screen, it's going to be Travis Moore. Football is the most violent game in the world. Watch the hit right there. Look at this. Pow! Oh, baby. Oh! Derek Lewis will feel that tomorrow.
6 running plays, 1 passing play on this drive, and it continues with 2nd and 5 at the BC 15. Dickinson looks to the end zone. Touchdown!
Sure, yeah. Payday for the big hit.
Travis Moore.
Little payday. Oh.
And Old Blue's going to be a little tired by the time he gets to the barn tonight.
Well, back-to-back huge plays by Travis Moore. One that will be in the stats at the end of the game and one that won't. That one will make the stats. That's the touchdown catch. The one that won't be was the huge block that put Calvin Anderson in that area.
So he really set up his own touchdown, didn't he?
No question about it. A little payday. Little payday and pay dirt for Travis Moore.
McMahon Stadium is a great place to watch a football game when it's full.
Swipe your club card at Safeway for automatic $1 million touchdown to win entry. If your name appears, it means you've won. The Cool Skin Shaver with Reflex Action from Philips. A superior wet shave experience without fear of nicks and cuts. Cool Skin from Philips, our closest shave ever. Or the Dirt Devil Vision Canister Vacuum. This powerful vacuum is lightweight, bagless, and versatile enough to clean any surface. Dirt Devil, power you can see. Swipe your club card for everyday great savings and your chance to win $1 million at Safeway.
There's a moment in every race.
In every game.
In every 60 minutes. When you can either quit, fold,
Or say to yourself,
I can do this.
Now that's a dog.
A sandwich just isn't a sandwich without the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
This summer, before you shout, get the summer trip check from the new Midas. Just $29.99 includes an oil change, tire rotation, and a top-to-bottom inspection of brakes, cooling, and more. Hey, this summer, go Midas.
Well, I think we should see some more and more. Let's see some more Travis Moore. There's the knockout punch on the block. Woo! That's the big hit that got Kelvin Anderson down in scoring range. And then Travis Moore gets a little payday when he comes up with a post pattern and the touchdown catch right there. A little more.
Too much more.
Yeah.
Cunningham. Maybe his best return of the night. There are markers down near midfield.
Well, we talked about this being a heavyweight bout between the two teams in the West. There's the scoring drive, and Travis Moore just threw the knockout punch. Oh, boy, that was a huge hit on Lewis, and then the 15-yard catch, and that's all she wrote, baby.
Very efficient 8-play drive.
Think they're excited about their football team here in Calgary?
Well, they should be. This is a team playing extremely well. And this is a team that was down by 15 to the Blue Bombers in Winnipeg last week. Had to roar back to tie it. And then finally, Pitt's touchdown in overtime won it for the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, it's amazing what a comeback will do for you like that. I mean, you come back like that and you believe in yourselves and you get that cohesion again on the team. And 10 new faces in the lineup for Calgary, so they had to get it together, and they have.
Yeah, Wally mentioned that at halftime, that overtime last week had a lot to do with the way his team started tonight, and that was very effectively on offense.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Winnipeg responds to that. They were the ones who obviously lost that game in overtime, and they'll play tomorrow night in Edmonton.
Second half of the Adidas Friday Night Football doubleheader from Commonwealth tomorrow night.
The injured player this time.
Boy, is this it? Well, round one goes to Wally Buono in this Greg Mons and Wally Buono bout that's been going on for a couple years now.
Yeah, there's still 10:46 to go, so I mean, there is time for the Lions to come alive. I just don't get the feeling that they're about to do that. Here's Robert Drummond wrapped up after about 3 on first down.
Yeah, again, if they were moving the football throughout the game but still behind, you could say, well, it's far from over. In the CFL, 10 minutes is a long
time.
But just the way this offense has struggled, and I'm going to give full credit to the Calgary defense. I mean, yes, there's been some execution problems for Greg Mons' offense, but I'll tell you something. That Calgary defense can cause you to have some execution problems when they're getting the penetration up front that they are getting in Joe Fleming, Shante Peoples, Traversy, and Jacob.
2nd and 6 for Damon and the Lions. Over the middle, they'll call it a catch. Rocky Henry.
Well, they need to get up and run the hurry up. It looks like Damon Allen is going to do that. I mean, there's still 10 minutes left, so they're definitely not going to lie down for the remaining 10 minutes. Plus, every point counts. We talked about that. Down the stretch, if they end up tied, it goes down to points.
First down for the Lions in the second half.
Whoa. They're coming off the edge. At that time, it was Fleming and Shante Peoples, both with a good rush off the corner. And it really, they haven't sacked Damon Allen a whole bunch, but they've rushed him all game long.
Pressured him.
They've made him throw it when he didn't want to throw it. And sometimes that's all you need.
Second and 10 for the Lions. Allen may have to do it himself.
Oh,
and he's hammered.
Fumbled.
Ball squirted loose. Stampeders appear to have it. At least they're celebrating.
That looked just like the play that Damon Allen fumbled in the Western Final a year ago. It looked almost identical.
Stampeders are on a roll on home turf at McMahon. It's been a tough night for the Lions.
Boy, oh boy, not much of a battle. Let us bring you up to date on how the Toronto Blue Jays did tonight as they continue their series with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The Jays are still trailing the New York Yankees heading into tonight's action, trying to gain a little bit of ground. Carlos Delgado, what a season. Bottom of the second, he absolutely crushes this ball off the third deck and right. His first of 2 bombs. It was 2-0 Jays after 2. Bottom of the 8th, tied at 5. Tony Batista. He goes yard. His 28th of the season is 6-5 for the Blue Jays at that point in time. Top of the 9th, Billy the Kid in to close it out. Gets Freddie McGriff swinging to end the game. So much for the crime dog. The Blue Jays go on to win it by a score of 6-5. Meanwhile, the New York Yankees, they lost tonight, so that means the Jays are now only a half game back. Ernie Els shot a 6-under-66. The conditions were perfect today. He has the lead following the first round of the British Open. Tiger, though, only a stroke back.
Enjoy the moments that a new day brings. Everyone in the world has a song to sing. Live every day, let it sing. Enjoy. All around the world, have a Coke and enjoy.
Tough night for Damon Allen. 2 interceptions and then this.
Well, Mark Pilon gets the FF, the forced fumble. Good hustle to track down Allen and knock the ball out of there. And then Darryl Hall gets the FR, fumble recovery.
And that sets the Stampeders up at the 41 with a new man at the controls. It's Troy Kopp. Kopp's hammered to the turf. Cantor got through. Couple of sacks for the Lions.
Here's what Troy Kopp has done in his career. Was in Winnipeg last year, struggled there. Got a chance, came into training camp with a clean slate. That's what Wally Buono said to him. He said, listen, I don't care what has happened to you in the past. You're in our offense now. You're in our system. George Cortez is going to take you, and he's going to make you a good quarterback, and I'm sure he will.
And he won the second string job ahead of O.T. Sampson, who was released last week and ended up in Toronto. Mainly because he's a better passer. There's his first completion of 2000. Mark Boerichter has another reception.
Well, they're going to be just short, and it'll be interesting to see if Wally Buono decides to go or takes the point, or takes a field goal attempt. So they're about a yard. You know, on the field, they want him to go for it. You always want to go when you're out there on offense. And I think he will do that. They're not going to lose the game, but you wonder about whether or not points are going to be important if they don't get it.
Well, also get some time off the clock here, too, if you can keep this drive going.
Well, if you keep the pretty much.
Right.
Can work it down for another set of plays.
Might only be 3 anyway, and it may not be, but you can take a few ticks off the clock here.
Well, you know, and in fairness to the BC Lions defensively, they have played pretty well considering they've had some injuries they've had to overcome. Eric Carter didn't even make the trip. He's their starting all-star corner. They had to move Raphael Robinson to the corner. Robinson last year was a safety.
Brock Preston in the game with Anderson getting a bit of a rest, and he's got 6.
You know, Raphael Ball was out for a few plays, a few series. He was hurt. They had to move Ian Franklin to the corner. He's a backup defensive back. So they've had to make some adjustments in that BC Lions secondary, and obviously not giving any excuses to the Lions, who haven't played very well tonight. But Raphael Robinson was the leading tackler on the team last year, but it was a safety position that he played.
So now he's moved back into the middle, Robinson, as they made other adjustments out there.
But yeah, now they got Crum playing as well, Mike Crum.
Brock Preston.
And Mike Crum has been playing the corner for the last half a quarter anyway, and some injury problems in the secondary haven't made it easy for the BC Lions.
The biggest story, though, has been on offense, where they haven't been able to solve the defense.
That's right.
Of the Calgary Stampeders.
Oh, yeah, full credit to that Calgary defense, because on offense they have had all their guns. I'm talking about the Lions, and the Calgary defense is just made it look like the gun was full of blanks.
I think that's well said. Mark McLaughlin, good on 1 of 2 tonight. He's only missed 1 in the first 3 weeks of the season. This from 32 yards. Dead center. McLaughlin adds a few more to the Calgary Stampeders total. They are annihilating the Lions at McMahon tonight.